What did you fail at this week? Sara Blakely, the woman who turned rejection into $1 billion. What if the question that made you a failure was actually the question that made you unstoppable? Every single night at the dinner table, a father asked his daughter one question. Not, "What did you achieve today?" Not, "What did you win?" He asked, "What did you fail at this week?" And if she had nothing to say, he was disappointed. That's not a typo. That's not a joke. That was Sara Blakely's childhood. While other kids were taught to fear failure, she was taught to chase it. Because failure didn't mean the end. It meant she was trying. She would need that lesson. She would need it more than she ever imagined. Sara wanted to be a lawyer. She took the LSAT. She failed it. She took it again. She failed it again. Law school closed its doors. Permanently. So she did stand-up comedy for a while. It didn't stick either. Then she took a job selling fax machines. Door to door. In the Florida heat. For 7 years. 7 years of doors slamming in her face. 7 years of not interested. 7 years of a smart, ambitious woman with zero connections, zero industry background, and a bank account that never crossed $40,000 a year. This wasn't a stepping stone. This looked like a dead end. Then, one night, getting ready for a party, she had a problem. She wanted to wear white pants. But she didn't have the right undergarment. Nothing that would smooth her out without showing panty lines or looking bulky underneath. So she grabbed a pair of scissors, and she cut the feet off her own pantyhose. It worked. It felt like nothing. It looked like nothing under her clothes. And an idea was born. One she couldn't stop thinking about. She had no design experience, no manufacturing contacts, no fashion background, just $5,000 in savings, and an idea that, on paper, sounded almost absurd. Footless, hidden shapewear that would replace an entire industry built by men for women, without ever asking women what they actually needed. She started calling hosiery mills, one after another, and one after another. They said no. Some laughed at her over the phone. Some didn't even bother explaining why. She didn't stop. She took a week off work, drove to North Carolina, and sat in factory lobbies uninvited, waiting for 5 minutes with an owner who didn't want to see her. Rejection after rejection after rejection. For nearly 2 years. 2 years of a woman driving alone into factories that saw her as nothing more than an inconvenience. Then, one mill owner in North Carolina turned her down, same as the rest. But that night, he went home and had dinner with his 3 daughters. He told them about the strange woman with the strange idea. His daughters looked at him and said, "Help her." That single dinner conversation changed everything. With her prototype finally built, Sara flew to Dallas on her own dime for a 10-minute meeting with a buyer from Neiman Marcus. 5 minutes in, she could see it wasn't landing. The pitch wasn't working. So she made a decision most people in that room would never have dared to make. She asked the buyer to follow her into the bathroom. She put the pants on without her product, then with it. Right there, in front of a stranger, she showed the transformation with her own body. The buyer looked at her and said, "I get it." And Spanx went into 7 stores that same day. She had no marketing budget, no advertising, no team. She was the head of sales, the model, the patent writer, the packer of every box. She wrote her own patent, from a library book on patent law, because she couldn't afford a lawyer. And then, in the year 2000, Oprah Winfrey named Spanx one of her favorite things. Overnight, a product built by one woman with scissors and stubbornness became a phenomenon. 3,000 hosiery mills had refused to touch. By 2012, Forbes put her on its cover. Sara Blakely, youngest self-made female billionaire in the world. She never took a dollar of outside investment. She owned 100% of her company for 21 years. The woman who was told no by every manufacturer in America built an empire that outlasted every single person who rejected her. Because here's what nobody tells you about failure. It was never the opposite of success. It was the price of admission. Sara Blakely wasn't unusually lucky. She was unusually willing to keep hearing no until the world finally said yes. So ask yourself the question her father asked her every single week at that dinner table. Not what did you win, not what did you achieve, what did you fail at this week? Because if the answer is nothing, you're not really trying at all.